Hi everyone, it's Angela Giles Klocke with ScarsandTiaras.com coming to you this week with less of a message for survivors and victims and more with a general PSA from survivors and victims of child abuse, sexual assault, domestic violence, whatever the case may be. And it is this. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being there for us. Thank you for wanting to fix some of the issues that we have that come up that hurt us. Thank you so much for every effort that you make that comes from your heart, and we know that. But what I want to say is there are some things that are really hurtful that happen, and I don't think people do them on purpose, but sometimes I think people just don't know how to respond and don't know how to deliver a well-meaning message in a very positive way. A lot of times we hear calm down, or that's anxiety is just fear of the future. And if those words were the quick switch on and off, we'd all be great. Everything would be fine. But the problem comes in that we can't just flip a switch and calm down or turn off the anxiety. And the reason we may have anxiety about something that's coming up is because history hasn't proven exactly to be very trustworthy. And so our bodies and our minds are responding to what we've been through before and anticipating that some of that may happen again in the future. And it's not this willful indulgence of, oh, I'm so nervous and I'm going to feed that, as much as our bodies and minds are just doing it. And as we go through healing, we are learning so much how to better manage that. But it feels like another platitude when you tell us to just shake it off. Or if you're religious, just pray. Just lay it at the foot of the cross. And I think that is well-meaning, and I think that is loving and kind, but it also hits that soft spot in our hearts where we don't necessarily feel like you understand really, really, really how deeply this hurts and affects us. I meet young women and sometimes men all the time who are just battling all of these things from their past. And then they're battling these pieces where people are telling them, you just have to choose to be happy. And while I am personally of that mindset that yes, you can choose your responses, you can't just turn off what happened and just choose to be happy and then it's all better. There has to be more that goes along with what you're saying. It actually is like the Bible verses that talk about you can't just wish your neighbor well and you'll pray for them, but really they need a coat or food. Well, you can't just tell us to choose happy and then walk away from us. We really need someone to journey with us, or someone to walk a little bit further than go do that thing. Another thing that I hear often is, let's see, I wrote a note on this, is the opposite, where somebody will say, well, I don't know why you would go to counseling. It's not going to change anything. You just need to deal with the past. Well, going to counseling is dealing with the past, and it does change things. And if you're not with the right counselor, absolutely, it may not change anything until you get with the right counselor. But I think anytime somebody discourages someone from going and getting help that is necessarily needed, not just to go throw money away or to talk about your woes. That's not what we're talking about here. Counseling is this deep work that you do with this person that you're trusting. And if you have the right counselor, it will change everything. And so when I hear people say, oh, don't do counseling, that's not going to change anything. You just need to change your mind. You just need to pray. You just need to whatever, fill in the blank. That is so discrediting. That is so hurtful and harmful to what we're all trying to do on this journey of healing. And this other one, stop living in the past. Stop living in the past. I hear this all the time. People tell me, stop living in the past, Angela. You can't keep living in the past. I am not walking around crying about my past, but I visit my past because I know that there is much to be gleaned from there. And I visit my past because I cannot put my head in the sand and pretend it didn't exist, because I've tried that and it exploded. The big breakdown of 2012. So when people say to me, stop living in the past, all I hear is, I really don't want to hear about what you're going through. And that just tells me you're not somebody I can trust to continue down this road with. So really, if you think you're helping somebody and you tell them not to keep living in the past, you're not giving them the invitation to say, I will walk these hard places with you. Some people, do they live in the past? Absolutely. Do some people live forever as victims? Absolutely. But you cannot paint every victim and survivor with that wide brush. You have to understand that those who are probably opening up to you need to speak about what they've been through. Trauma, it needs to be talked about. It needs to be talked about for many reasons, and one of the main reasons for us personally is it helps us heal. Because every single time somebody leans in and they're ready to listen, I heal a little bit more. But every time somebody tells me, oh, you got to stop living in the past, or you just need to choose to be happy, or what is it, calm down, just pray, put it at the foot of the cross, you weren't a Christian then, no wonder, now you are. All of these things are hurtful and harmful. So think before you speak if you're going to work and talk with victims, whether it's your sister, your brother, your uncle, your aunt, your best friend, whoever you're coming across that you're talking with. Think about how those words feel. Think about how those words hurt. And again, I'm just not a fan of a listicle of 10 things never to say to the victims of domestic violence, or 10 things never to say to the victims of child abuse. I hate that, because then we reach a point where we're silent instead of reaching out. But I do think we can be more intentional about what we are saying. We can think about the things that we're saying and how they may apply. Telling me to stop living in the past, my work is around using all of that pain to help other people. So what you're telling me is to stop doing what I'm doing. Stop working at the pregnancy center. Stop writing my book. Stop doing this video. I don't think that's an effective use of pain. I think I went through what I went through, and now I get to use it. And I get to use it however I want. So if it makes you uncomfortable when somebody is sharing their past with you or their hurts with you, then maybe that's a good time to say, I might not be the right person for you to share this with. That's better than hitting one of these platitudes or painting their feelings with what you think they need to do. Again, I love all of you who support us. I love the feedback that I get. I love that people lean in and listen. But I'm hearing from way, way, way too many of my brothers and sisters in this healing path who are being harmed left and right by people who are not necessarily trying to help or harm, but just have things that they need to say. And I am of the mindset that if what I'm about to say does not add to somebody's journey or help them in some way, or if they may take it in a way that, looking at where they are on their journey, that it's just not an effective or appropriate time, then I just don't say it. And I'd like to live that way, and I like to encourage others to live that way. So if you are a survivor and you've needed to say something like this to someone in your life, feel free to share this video with them. This is not coming from a place of hurt or anger personally at this point, because I have a pretty thick skin, but because I keep hearing it, because young women sit in the pregnancy center and apologize for taking up my time to share with me the pain that they've been through. I know that other people have made them feel as if they are a waste of their time, and we got to stop that. We cannot be that. We can't be effective, and that's not love. Okay? So I will see you next week at scarsandtiaras.com. My name is Angela Giles Klocke. I thank you for hearing me out, and next week we'll get back on Ways to Thrive on Live to Thrive. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.